Hello, all. Welcome to One Pitch Catch. We have had a few interesting games. You could say there was a moral win for CSK yesterday in their match against Punjab. Uh, they were trying a new things. They have been moving around their batting combinations. They brought in a few people. Sam Curran was sent up the order. Jadeja has been batting up the order for a while. Did it? It seems like it's clicked a little far too late. As a result, what's happened is Deepak Huda was coming in at eight. Not that he's contributed much this season. And we also had in the same match a hat trick and a four-wicket over. It's not something that you see too often. I think Andre Russell may have got a four-wicket over a few seasons ago. I can't recall anybody else. But how do you see this moral win? Although they are now knocked out of the IPL.
Yeah, you're right, Jaga. I think yesterday CSK's loss was a dignified loss compared to their earlier losses. I feel because they lost in the 40th over. I mean, though in the last 2-3 overs, at least to the 37th over, they were in the game. I think earlier they were losing the game in the fifth over or the sixth
Yeah.
over. That is the first innings, fifth over or the sixth over out of 40. So I think it was a dignified loss. Even if they had been on the top of the table, yesterday's loss would not have hurt because
Yeah,
I felt they competed and lost.
yeah.
The earlier 9 games, there was hardly, they were not even competing. Even in the games they
Almost
won.
like they were reading from the Rajasthan Royals book in terms of how to win, how to take the game right till the end and then lose.
Yeah, yesterday they did that probably. Um, but I mean, they even the Sam Curran, the Huda, and all examples you spoke about, Jaga. This is what they do every year. The first
Oh,
three,
okay.
four matches, it doesn't work for them. The new batting order or something they're trying. But what eventually happens is they don't give up. They can persist with the same person, and they eventually do well. And this has been uh, the handbook that CSK has been following, and it works, and it shows in the results and the number of cups they have won also. But this time, what happened is nothing worked. The Rahul Tripathi or
Hmm.
Rachin Ravindra, starting from Rachin Ravindra, Rahul Tripathi, Deepak Huda, at the top of the order, nothing worked. Now, slowly, Jadeja and Karan coming up the order, so that Jadeja has also contributed little bit. And Sam
Right.
Curran's yesterday's innings was very good, actually. So, those things are coming good, but too late, like you said. It is too late. Like Dhoni himself has committed, we should look for the next season. How to
Right.
build the team for the next season.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have a choice anyway, you're out. So
Yeah,
you better
you are.
start doing that
So
now itself.
so now you won't get memes of how what is mathematically one law. This has to
No.
happen. That has to happen. The sun has to rise in the north, and so CSK can make it. So those kind of memes are gone. So CSK is completely out. The first team to be knocked out. So
It
yes, I
seemed
mean,
like,
but again, Prabhsimran and Shreyas showed they
right.
batted very well.
But
Um,
I think the game was lost even before that, right? I mean, when you're 170 for five, you probably have, and I think they were scoring it around almost 10 plus an over at that stage. And then you expect to get at least like 40 something runs in the last three overs so that you're looking at 210. And they ended up with 13 runs more, which basically just blew away the whole plan. Four wickets in that over from Chahal, a hat trick. All of them right-handers, by the way, which is very interesting from a matchup perspective. And then I think the game was pretty much over at that stage. Yeah, at the most, PBKS, if at all, there was a probability of a stutter, but that never really materialized.
True. And also, I mean, if there was a psychological edge over it at the halfway point, PBKS had it. Okay. Because when you are
Yeah,
expecting to chase 210, you're making a mindset how to get to 210. You just have 190. It's not
yeah,
even a 198, 99. It is just 190.
right.
So it makes even more psychologically, gives a good comfort feeling. And they have been batting well also, barring one or two games. So it became a
Yeah,
kind of an easy win for them. They managed.
right.
And again, CSK's bowling is not the problem. It's also
Yeah,
showed yesterday. They bowled well also. I mean, I think
right.
except Patirana, something has happened to his
Yeah, something
action
gone
has
wrong.
changed, and he's just not getting it right. He's bowling every over. He bowls a two leg side wides and runs also. He's not as good as last year. Last year, he would not be hit at all. In the last 4 overs, he'll come back and bowl, and
Yeah,
They are also very rigid about bowling Patirana towards the end. Okay, that's for another day to
Yeah.
talk specifically about them. Yes, it's a very good
At least,
comforting win for PBKS to stay on top of the table.
and I think we also saw a couple of other unexpected results also, right? We had just the previous day KKR beating Delhi. You couldn't call them upsets as such. I mean, because the teams are sort of clustered together for the most part, except outliers like CSK. But I think that was a pretty interesting match. KKR had a lot of batsmen that got starts. None of them really went on to score 75, 80, 100 types, but they were all scoring very quickly at like 150, 180 strike rate. And then after that, it basically became the Sunil Narine show. He was, I think he also scored some important runs. Varun Chakravarti also bowled pretty well. So he was, then I think Sunil Narine ended up captaining because Ajinkya was injured, then Venkatesh Iyer was subbed out. So Sunil became the captain also. So he was bowler, he had already batted. He was
He
then
took a catch,
captain.
he direct hit.
Yeah, exactly. It was almost like watching a Kamal Haasan movie where அவரே எல்லாம் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கிற மாதிரி. So,
Puducherry Kacheri song.
ஆமா.
Hmm.
So,
So
how did you see that game?
yeah, that was, I mean, like you said, in spite of no one getting a big score for KKR, they managed to reach 204. 204 was a good score to defend there, I feel.
Yeah.
And I mean, as the season has progressed, there's a lot of question marks about DC's batting. There is a lot
Mm.
of holes to be filled, I feel. I mean, initially, Abhishek Porel scores a lot of runs initially in the first 2 3 overs and doesn't carry on, except for one game where he got carried on and scored a 50 odd runs. Otherwise, he just gets, he's going to score a 20 30 and get out by the third over.
Mm.
And Faf, he scored good runs
Yeah,
on that day, but still he's not been the usual Faf that we have seen
correct.
with CSK or with RCB for the last couple of seasons. So and again Rahul is too dependent on Rahul. Rahul's run out didn't help the cause either. So I think their batting needs some fixing from Hemang Badani and Kevin Peterson. Ashutosh Sharma also a couple of last two games bowlers seem to have sorted him out. Let us see how he
Mm.
responds in the coming games. So their batting seems to be an issue with DC, though they have good bowling. They will need to figure out how they can get across and reach the playoff. Now, with this batting issue, I think teams will try to take advantage of it, and their playoff chances could be in trouble.
Correct, yeah. I think they must have figured out a pattern. I certainly think the fact that they didn't get through Varun and Sunil Narayan, and we probably have to go back to some of the earlier games to see how they bat against spin. That may be a factor as well.
Now they've
Um,
lost two games, two home games in a row to RCB and KKR. I mean, in the RCB game, in fact, in fact, Suyash didn't bowl wickets. Didn't pick up
mm,
wickets. He bowled very well actually. Suyash also, like you say, they are not able to push through the
yeah,
score in the spin against spinners.
yeah. Cool. That takes us to the match that everybody was obviously watching.
Vaibhav Suryavanshi
Five
game.
innings. This was GT against RR, RR beating Gujarat. I mean, I think in this last video we had pretty much said this is going to be an easy thing for GT, but then it obviously was an upset. Actually, GT batted pretty well to put up the score that they did, but basically it
204.
was then after that a Vaibhav and Yashasvi show all the way. I mean, his batting was really, really good. I think it's still very predominantly leg side. You could see a few instances where when the ball was slanting across Vaibhav, he was not able to get it off. Then I think there was a slower ball that he mistimed and it still went for four. So he is packing a punch in the power hitting, predominantly leg side. But that's also a function of the game as such, right? I mean, maybe the boundaries in Jaipur were also that way, where he sort of targeted one particular area.
Mm.
We can keep I mean, I'm sure the word is still not yet out in terms of the last word is not yet said about age and things like that. But even if he's 16 or 17, I think he does seem to have a fair amount of baby fat, puppy fat. So I kind of I'm not sure that he's actually too much older than what they're saying he is. But even then, it was very, very good batting.
Yeah, I mean, forget
And
the age. I mean, whatever the age is. I mean, even if a 30-year-old, I mean, he's not 30 by any chance, but even if a 30-year-old scored that innings, no, that innings was
and
sublime.
30
Okay.
balls, 35 balls.
Yeah, 35 balls. I mean, only Chris Gayle has scored faster 100 in
Yeah,
IPL in all these years. Is something, man. It's something. Okay. You're next to Chris Gayle in any record list. It's something. So,
yeah.
irrespective of the age. Especially in IPL because Chris Gayle is an IPL great
Correct.
more than
I know, and
anything
the
else.
bowlers are all international quality
Yes,
bowlers, right? It's not like
everybody's
you're not scoring that in a under 19
yes,
domestic game or something like that.
yes, everybody's interested. I mean, the one person who's not played international did not bowl to him, Sai Kishore. So that's a story for eternity. I think GT not using Sai Kishore because everybody is hitting. I mean, Siraj, Prasidh Krishna,
Yeah.
Rashid Khan. I mean, Rashid
Rashid.
Khan, he was not hitting Rashid so
Yeah,
much,
he
but still
wasn't consciously going after him.
consciously going after him. And I mean, Ishan. And then
Yeah.
Rashid Khan brought in Karim Jannat. It is absolutely, I can't believe that he did it. Karim Jannat is just runs in and bowls medium pace with no variations, nothing. And with the mood Vaibhav Suryavanshi is in, no, I mean, any captain would even try to bring in an non-regular bowler. Say, for example, Amarnas Labuschagne in an
That's
Australian
right.
team. So
Yeah.
something like that. And you have a wonderful leg spinner, this matchups thing again. If you go by matchups, um, an off spinner bowling to a left-hander is a great matchup.
Yeah.
Vaibhav Suryavanshi had hit about 16, 17 runs off Washington Sundar.
Correct.
Okay,
Yeah.
so which means that matchup didn't work.
Didn't work.
So that didn't work. And again, the left-hander to a left. So see, I have noticed Akshar Patel dismissing Jacob Bethel and Devdutt Padikkal, both left-handers in the same over. Anukul Roy dismissed Abhishek Puran.
Hmm.
Harpreet Brar dismissed Jadeja. So there are
Yesterday.
lot of instances of left arm spinners dismissing left hand batsmen.
Yeah.
And Sai Kishore is not a left hand spinner like Abhishek Sharma who bowls
Right.
rarely. Sai
He's not a
Kishore,
part-time bowler.
yeah, he is not like Abhishek Sharma who cannot bowl regularly against heavy hitters.
Right.
I think GT is consistently missing a trick by not bowling him properly. See, it was not hurting them because they kept on winning.
Correct. Yeah.
Now with this Vaibhav Suryavanshi game, I think I mean, I'm not saying they would have dismissed Vaibhav Suryavanshi and the result could have been changed, but there was a possibility. There was a
Yeah. That was
possibility.
one. Yeah.
There was definitely a possibility, and not letting these things happen. But I don't know what is the treatment. We have spoken enough in this channel about,
Right.
and a lot of people have also voiced out. I am shocked the way
They've
Sai
been
Kishore is
handling.
treated. I don't know what is happening behind. There is no way on earth Karim Jannat can bowl an over before Sai
Correct.
Kishore
Ahead
in
of him.
that match, especially in that
Yeah.
match, especially.
And then he
So
ends up coming in and bowling like the 17th or 19th over or something like that.
yeah,
Sai
nothing. That
Kishore.
by the time, in fact, in that over, he bowled a brilliant slower ball through the air, which beat Riyan Parag. I mean, he
Hmm.
gave away 15, 16 runs, but that 15, 16 run is not a measure of his bowling because the match was gone. You had to score some
Right.
like 20 runs of 30 balls and things like that. So the
Right.
match was gone.
I mean, it almost seemed like at some point of time, GT, they either stopped thinking about how to bowl to Yashasvi and Vaibhav when they were batting on, because you didn't see too much variation. You didn't, I think there was one slower ball that Vaibhav hit over mid-off. It just landed a little bit over mid-off, went for four. After that, nothing else. There was no variation in line and length. I think they tried a few bouncers, but he was just in that kind of zone where even those were not working. Seems like GT has quite a few things to now ponder about from a bowling perspective. The lineup is great, but how you're using all the bowlers, at what stage do you bring in some of these, and how much do matchups actually matter? I think it's worth thinking about those things for them. And when you're speaking about uh, how Sai Kishore is not being used, actually, if you see the last 2, 3 games, he's obviously not finishing his quota often. Even Kuldeep didn't finish his quota in the other game a couple of days ago. I think the KKR one. Chahal, yeah, he was hit around initially, but even then he only did bowl 3 overs when he got the hat trick. And these are not normal, run of the mill spinners. These are the among the top spinners in the country, and these are among the top. I think they're among the top 5 or 6 this season in terms of wicket takers. So teams, I don't know, this whole concept of matchup was just getting irritating, I think.
Yeah, I mean the matchups has to be the back of the mind. It has to be used, yes, but not to the extent of ignoring a bowler like you say Kuldeep or Chahal or Sai Kishore. I
Right.
mean Sai Kishore may not have shown his international class like Kuldeep and Chahal have, but we know Sai Kishore is there up there. I think he's not playing for India just because there is no place, because the
Yeah.
Jadejas and the Aksar
Correct.
and of course Kuldeep to a certain extent are
Right.
keeping. I mean he's born in the wrong era kind of person.
Right.
So that is why he's not playing for India, I feel. So they
Plus,
have
also
to.
maybe his batting also is not obviously developed at the same level as Akshar. Aksar's batting has come on really good in the last couple of
Aksar's
years,
batting
right?
is gone better than Jadeja's, I feel.
Yeah.
So Aksar is probably the best left-arm spinner batsman in the country now.
Correct. Yeah.
uh, but Sai Kishore brings a different. I think he's captain of the Tamil Nadu Ranji team, so I think he brings a leadership aspect to the plate. Let us see in the long run where he stands. I am. I mean, more and more baffling that he's not bowling at all. I mean, at least Kuldeep and Chahal are not finishing their quotas. He's not even starting his quota.
Okay, cool. So that's about it. We have a game coming up today, Rajasthan versus Mumbai. So that's going to be interesting. Is this the sort of a resurgence for Rajasthan? Will Mumbai continue to win as they have seemed to have picked up in the last couple of games? We'll see.
Let's
With
see. Let's see.
that,
We don't want to
have
predict anymore after the GTRR game. That so
yeah, but
so
you don't budget for a 35 ball 100 anyway, right? So
yeah. But I think I mean MI if they win today, it'd be a six in a row.
yeah.
So let's see
Great.
what happens.
That's about it. So thanks a lot for your time, everybody. Keep subscribing, leave the comments, and thank you all. Bye.
Thank you. Thanks everyone. Bye bye.